4 books that I read in February with fun plot twists. 3 are secular, 1 is Christian, all are relatively clean. So if you want to hear about them, stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. I'm Miss Thomas, so if anybody can welcome you, it's me, because this is my channel. So I say everyone is welcome. And if you are new here, please subscribe. If you are returning, welcome back. I want to tell you about some interesting plot twists that I read in the month of February. And the main one I want to start off with, big, huge thanks to Netgalley for providing me the audio of The Exiles by Jane Harper. I love Jane Harper. I have not met a Jane Harper book that I do not like. Some I like more than others. I have found that I like the Aaron Falk series better than the other books. I just love the Aaron Falk series. My husband and my son and my sister-in-law, they're all in accounting with a specific interest in investigating fraud. And so I just naturally find that interesting because I hear about it at home. Now, Aaron Falk is an FBI agent who investigates financial fraud. You know, he follows the money trail to solve crimes, and they're usually disappearances or murders, but his background is finance. And so he's looking at it from the angle of, the finance aspect of it. So it's really cool. And I love those books. And I was thrilled to get access as, I guess it wasn't an ARC, an advanced reader copy, but I got it the day it was released, The Exiles by Jane Harper, and I loved it. So anyway, The Exiles is an Aaron Falk mystery. If you remember Rocco or Reiko from The Dry, that's the other investigator that he got involved with. So if you will recall, Aaron Falk makes friends with a guy named Reiko. Actually, they're already friends in The Dry, and Reiko has this wife, and they're just dear friends of Aaron Falk's. In this book, The Exiles, Aaron Falk goes to visit Reiko and the wife because Reiko's brother's ex-wife has disappeared a year before. And you would think, well, why does he care about his ex-wife? But it's because they were childhood sweethearts, and there's a lot in this close-knit group from high school. And so they have a child together too. That's the other thing. He's concerned because I guess it would be his niece, the daughter of the disappeared woman. She's trying to find her mother or find out what happened to her mother. So Aaron Falk goes down to visit and to help out with this investigation, this search for Kim, the woman who disappeared. The book flashes back to a lot of high school, childhood relationships. There's a lot going on in the teen years. And so there's this big annual party. It still takes place. And so the younger people go to the annual party, but the woman Kim who disappeared went to this party when she was in high school. And we find out that something terrible happened and she can't completely remember what happened. And so that's part of the plot. What happened to Kim in high school? Is it related to her disappearance now? And then there's also the relationship between the circle of friends from high school and how they're all reflecting on high school, but also trying to figure out where Kim is now and how Kim fell out of the circle of friends. Why did she fall out of that close-knit circle of friends from high school? And does it have anything to do with her disappearance? So it was a really good book. In which Aaron Falk must solve the case. And he also has a budding romance in the book with another character, of course, a local in that story. And so he ends up, do I want to stay and really explore this relationship with this woman, or do I want to go back to my busy career as an FBI agent? So that was an interesting little a nice little bonus to the book. And then there were some subplots. So along with trying to find out with what happened to Kim, we're also finding out about another character who died, a boy's father died in a tragic car accident. And so Aaron Falk is trying to help that boy also get past the death of his father, but maybe bring closure too by finding out, I think it was a hit and run, and finding out who hit the father and, bringing that person to justice. So The Exiles was a wonderful book. I was so thrilled to get the latest and greatest from Jane Harper. If you know me at all, you know I love Colleen Coble. And so this video does have some secular book reviews, but it also has a Christian book review for Colleen Coble's book, Because You're Mine. Now, I loved One Little Lie by Colleen Coble, and that's book 1 of a 3-part series. I happened across Because You're Mine, and it's different from One Little Lie, but Colleen Coble did not disappoint. Because You're Mine is the story of Alana. She is this beautiful Celtic singer with this long red hair, and there's this beautiful red hair on the book cover. She is from Ireland, and so she is this up-and-coming Celtic musician, and she's got this band that she tours with. I don't know if band is the right word, but the Celtic musical group, and it's her best friend and her husband, and it's just, she's got it all. She's got the perfect marriage. She's got this great friend. She's got this career that's on the rise. And she's got this incredible manager named Barry. And he just can't seem to do enough for Alana. Now, there is this tragedy that occurs after a concert one night. And she finds herself in a custody battle for her child, because it turns out she's pregnant with her husband, her beloved husband's baby, and her beloved husband dies in a tragic accident, a car accident. Now, this all happens very early in the book. This is not a spoiler. But Alana is confronted with now her husband's family, very wealthy, powerful family, in Ireland, and they want that baby, and they don't like Alana. So they try to make Alana's life difficult, and they want the baby. So Alana ends up seeking the help from her incredibly solicitous, very invested business manager, Barry. Now, Alana's best friend, Sierra, doesn't like Barry. So let me just say, you got to trust the girlfriend. But Alana doesn't. She ignores her girlfriend and she trusts Barry. And there's just something not quite right about Barry. He's got this creepy family, and he lives in this mansion in North Carolina, and it's like out in the middle of nowhere, and there's crocodiles and swampy and snakes. And this woman, she's torn between her music career, and she's grieving the loss of her husband, and she wants to have his baby, and she just has all these things going on, in her life. And she's in this situation now, relying on the help of her business manager, Barry, and there's just something not quite right there. So I don't want to give anything away, but if you know Colleen Coble at all, there's always a little hint of eeriness and angst in the book, and I like that. I like that in the book, and I enjoyed Because You're Mine. I tried my very first David Baldacci book, and that was also an audio, and I highly recommend the audio of Dreamtown by David Baldacci. Now, I say that because the book was very good, but I think the audio just made it great. It took it to that next level from good to great, because it was so Dick Tracy-esque, Dreamtown is the story of Archer, and he's a private investigator. I think it's the 1950s. There's reference to, because it's a dream town, it's Los Angeles, and he's got this friend named Liberty Callahan who's trying to be the next great star, and she at one point compares herself to Marilyn Monroe, and so, oh, look, Marilyn Monroe's over there, and there's some greats, some great actors and actresses in did I say Los Angeles? It might be Hollywood, but Liberty Callahan is his sort of love interest, but mostly best friend. And she wants to be, this great actress. She's this beautiful blonde and she's trying to make it as an actress. And she actually compares herself to the up and coming blonde star whose name is Marilyn Monroe. And they happen to see Marilyn Monroe in one scene, and they see, I think Katharine Hepburn in another scene. So it was really a nice book in that there were a lot of references, from that time period. And it was just so Dick Tracy-esque. I don't know if that's a word, but there was like that little saxophone music in the background, and it just had that feel to it. And so it was fun. It was just a fun mystery. Now what happens that makes it an interesting mystery is that Archer is out with his friend Liberty, and this woman comes up to them, and she's a friend of Liberty's, and she finds out in the conversation that Archer is a private investigator, and she says, I think someone's trying to kill me. And so he has agreed to take on the case, and he is about to meet with her to get paid in advance for his investigative services when she disappears. And he gets mixed up in this whole thing involving, Chinatown and corruption and a lot of Hollywood drama, rising stars and being exploited and all this stuff. And it was a really fun mystery. And it had some interesting plot twists that, of course, I'm not going to give away in this video because you got to read it for yourself. And another really good book with a plot twist, which has been out for a while. I've been hearing about it. I wasn't really a Lucy Foley fan. I didn't care for the guest list. I mean, it was okay. I reviewed it on my channel. I felt like it was a knockoff of Agatha Christie. So I was reluctant to read another Lucy Foley, but I was impressed with The Paris Apartment. And again, I took a road trip with my husband, and so we were listening to it. And my husband just humors me. He just lets the audiobooks go while we're driving. And it's like, oh no, another one of her books kind of thing. But he actually got engrossed in this one too. So I say that because this particular book, The Paris Apartment, I think it appeals to a diverse group of readers. And so The Paris Apartment is a mystery where this girl, Jess, goes to see her brother, Ben, in his Paris apartment. And in the very beginning, there's something that happens. He's on the phone, leaving a voicemail for his sister Jess, and he says, just knock on the door, I'll be here. And, the call gets cut short, something happens, and then she shows up and she can't find her brother. So, he's disappeared. And apparently, something terrible has happened to him while he was on the phone calling to give her instructions. So she's at this Paris apartment trying to find out what happens to her brother. And she meets, a cast of characters that live in this apartment. And they all seem like they got something to hide. They're all just kind of creepy. There's something up with each of them. And, it was a really fun book with like different characters, and they all had different secrets and different agendas, and so different chapters were told by each of the different characters' point of view. And so some of the characters you hear from Jess, and she's trying to track down her brother. And then some of the chapters you hear from Mimi, this 19-year-old girl. That was my husband's favorite. Mimi, fourth floor. Each chapter would begin with Mimi, fourth floor. And my husband, he thought that was funny because she was just such a strange girl. And she's got this roommate that, is really extroverted party girl, and Mimi is socially awkward. And so there's a little bit of a tension between Mimi and her roommate. And then Mimi is just very nervous around Jess. And then there's Sophie, the wealthy, beautiful Parisian woman on the penthouse with the little dog that she brings around everywhere. And her husband, Jack, who very, very wealthy, very powerful man. We don't really hear much from Jack. Apparently he's out of town during the story. And then there's the friend that invited Ben to come live at the apartment. His name was Nick. And so you just hear from the different perspectives and the different characters. And that just had a couple different plot twists that were, I thought I had the book figured out. And then I was like, yeah, I knew it. And then there was more, more to unfold. But then Oh, okay, I understand. And then, so there were a lot of layers to the plot twists in the Paris apartment, and I recommend that one too. All right, so there are 4 books that I read in February, each of them their own intriguing mysteries, and each of them had unique and interesting and fun-filled plot twists. Bye for now.